Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm Jackson.
And I am home at the movies.
And this week we're going to be talking about Deadpool 2.
Amongst other things. Bored and Annoyed. So, as we always do, news first.
All right. Some kind of interesting news today, actually.
Yes.
But let's get into what I'm most excited for. John Wick has a release date. Yeah.
Yes, he's back. Again.
Yeah, and in dead of summer, like right in the primo movie times.
Prime. Yeah, it's what? Deadpool 2's release date next year.
Yep, something like that. It's the 17th, I believe.
Yeah, so, day or two removed.
When does Avengers come out? Does that have a release date?
That has a release date of the first weekend in May.
Okay,
now John Wick is not the same kind of competition as Deadpool.
Right.
So I don't see them moving a week forward like they did this year.
Yeah.
But they might. I mean, I think it would be smarter. They've proven that they don't have to have the first weekend in May release to do better.
Sure.
So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that John Wick would really dent. Although I suppose I'm going to be going to see it. I suppose there's a lot of fans now, so.
I would imagine with that release date, it's going to be the biggest opening weekend of the series.
Maybe, absolutely.
Maybe even by a wide margin.
Well, not even just the release date. I think that, at this point, it's picked up quite a bit of steam. I mean, the first one you shouldn't even count because it was kind of, half the people that saw the trailer thought it looked stupid. So.
Yep. Oh, I was right in there. And then that first 5 minutes where it's just quiet.
Right.
And there's no dialogue. I was shocked right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, that movie turned out great.
Yeah, right. I would agree.
And lots of people are fans of 2.
I think it's amazing.
It's a solid action film.
Yep. Well, it's better than 1.
I
don't agree.
Personally, I love the first one, and the second one I'm fine with.
All right.
But
we won't start the show on an argument.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. What else do we got? Oh, we got Deadpool 2's box office. It actually opened lower than the first film, 125 million rather than 132, which is what the first one made.
Okay, so it had a really good first day, correct?
Yeah, it beat see, that's the interesting thing, is it beat Deadpool 1 by, what was it, 6 or 7 million on the first day.
And it beat it too, correct?
Yes.
As the number 1 R-rated opening day.
Yes. And then day 2 came out and it lost to Deadpool 1 by $2 million. And then the next day it lost by like 10 or more.
Well, I feel like that kind of makes sense. It's like people, when they saw Deadpool, it was like something new and they went and told everybody, you got to see Deadpool. Yeah.
It also could be the royal wedding.
Oh.
All those adults watching monarchs that are no longer monarchs.
Everybody was up till 4 a.m. watching the royal wedding, so they didn't have time to go to Deadpool the next day?
They're like, oh, that crass man in red, I'm not going to go see his film. That's what we Americans sound like as people who wanted to see the stupid royal wedding.
Yeah, well, I mean, people love the royal wedding.
I'll never understand it.
Nobody really does, but...
They don't do anything.
Those who do love the royal wedding understand.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess it's like Kanye and Kim Kardashian getting married.
Right. Yeah, there are royalty in America.
What does that say about us?
I think it means we're great. It means we're great.
We're great.
They're definitely more entertaining.
That's for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
for sure.
At
least they do things.
Right. Well, do they?
I mean, Kanye goes out and says things.
Yeah,
that's
he
for
does
sure.
say things. That's true.
But so it's interesting. It started falling behind the original. Deadpool started falling behind the original one.
Sure.
So I'm sort of wondering if, even though it's got an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, but with those day-to-day drops in the first weekend, I'm wondering if the word of mouth is not there for people.
I think it is.
You think so? Well,
yeah.
I mean, I've experienced quite a few people who say they like it as much, if not more, than the first one.
I would agree. I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah,
and I've seen it on Facebook and everything.
Yeah.
So I think the general consensus is that it didn't disappoint.
Right.
I would think fans went and saw it. I just think it's like it's not a fresh thing anymore.
Right.
Right.
I mean, maybe Deadpool reached peak Deadpool with the first one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
I mean, there's probably going to be a third one based on a $125 million opening weekend.
Sure.
$301 million worldwide in the first weekend.
So it doubled its money on a budget, correct?
Yeah, its budget was 110.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's already on its way to breaking even.
Deadpool 3 will be coming in a couple of years.
Or X-Force. Spoilers.
I don't know about that, though.
It's coming.
You think that's going to draw people in to see X-Force? Like,
it's
really?
Fox.
Oh.
They have no franchise. Their X-Men franchise is failing.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't they lose? What happens with all that stuff now that Marvel bought or Disney bought Fox?
They're waiting for approval on that buyout.
Okay.
So
they'll get the approval. We won't have to see a Fox version of X-Force. Nobody wants to see X-Force. I'm sorry.
And Deadpool is like the only character I feel that you can actually do the bring over into their new universe without rebooting, because he can make commentary on what the hell, like the whole universe is different.
Yeah.
You know? But everybody else, it's like everybody else is gone.
Although they've messed, like the whole timeline in the X-Men franchise is just broken as hell, with or without Deadpool.
Right.
You know, that's just so stupid.
That's very true. Another piece of box office news. Avengers is at $1.8 billion currently globally.
All right.
So it still might have a chance to get to $2 billion, but I don't think it's going to beat The Force Awakens at this point.
Sure.
But it doesn't need to.
You know what's crazy, by the way? I picked up the Black Panther Blu-ray the other day.
Right.
And then I go and see what movies are out, and Black Panther is still in theaters.
I know.
Like, how long is Avengers going to be in theaters?
Not that long.
I don't think so either, but that's bizarre.
Summer competition is way heavier than what Black Panther had.
No, it's still there. It's still there up against all this shit that's coming out now.
It finally got knocked out of like the top 10. Finally.
That's crazy, man.
So, yeah. But yeah, we saw some trailers too this week.
Yeah, I think that Mowgli, however the hell you say it. Mowgli.
It is spelled weird.
Yeah, is it Mowgli? Well, how do you say it?
It's Mowgli.
Mowgli.
But it's weird because it's Mowgli.
Yeah, I suppose mow the lawn. You know, Mowgli. I'm an idiot, but
it sounds like there should be an E in there. Mowgli. That's how I always pronounce it. Mowgli.
Mowgli would be how I would read it if I didn't know the character's name. And even though I know the character's name, I still say it that way.
I don't understand that. You heard them say it in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. I was just looking at cool shit. I think it looks really good though.
Yeah.
The effects don't look as good as the Disney one did, in my opinion. But it looks like kind of a dark, like, you know, I saw it's PG-13.
Right. I mean, it's directed by Andy Serkis.
Right.
Which has me excited because I'd like to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, good at everything else he does.
Right.
So.
That had me excited for the motion capture.
Right.
But, yeah, the animals look more cartoony in
They
this.
look weird. They've got, like, a human look to them.
Which is going to be very strange when you're going for, like, this dark, gritty version of the Mowgli tale.
Right.
But you're going to have more
Mowgli tale.
Yeah. But you've got a cartoon animals with Mowgli. That's going to be strange, I feel.
No, I think it looks good. I'm excited to see it.
Right.
I know I'm a little worried for it because people don't understand the way that films are made, and they don't get, like, how did this happen? They just made one. Why would they make another one? Like,
exactly.
they're just like, this is stupid. But
well, yeah. I don't think it's going to do anywhere near as well as the Disney one.
No.
Because Disney got there first, and they really knocked it out of the park.
No, it's amazing.
That movie is really, really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I would agree.
So, I mean, there is a sort of like, but you already nailed it. Why are we doing this again? Like you said, if you don't understand, you know, the public domain, you don't understand why they're making a second one.
Right. Or like most people don't even like think about the fact that there's an original source material that this one is based on.
Right.
You know, whereas the other movie that just came out was using the Disney movie as the source material, basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So this one won't be a musical, you know, I'm thinking.
Right.
I would assume.
I would hope not.
Yeah, I mean, look up the trailer. It looks kind of like dark and, you know, I don't know. The cast is good.
Yes. What do you got?
You got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbun.
And then you've got
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. You've got Christian Bale as the Panther.
Yeah, see, Christian Bale excites me.
And then Baloo is Andy Serkis.
Yes.
So, I mean, it looks good, I think. But
I find it interesting that once again we have a female playing the snake. Because I could have swore that in the original Disney version, the snake was a man.
Well, people have discovered that females are snakes, Alex.
Whoa! Shots fired.
And the girlfriend just texted me saying, "LOL at you trying to say Mowgli." Thanks, dear. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. You know what else gets me all fucked up with that is the Mogwais in Gremlins. So I just want to say I want to say that, and I can't spit it out. You know. So.
Well, that's just because you're a stupid American.
Yeah, well, apparently so. That's fine. Well, women are still snakes. You heard it here first.
I find it interesting. It does almost feel biblical.
the Mowgli tale.
No, the woman as a snake.
Yeah, well,
because you got the original sin and all that shit with Adam and Eve.
Yeah, but wasn't the snake that tempted?
That was Satan.
I would have. Yeah, so it was a male. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's always been a connection with females and snakes.
Yeah,
in
that's
mythological representations.
And there's a reason for that, folks.
I just found it interesting and strange. Because, I mean, if you wanted to separate yourself as a film, maybe you make the snake a man.
Well, they're also kind of like slender, creatures that are a little more, nuanced with whereas, obviously a mean-ass tiger... you're not.
You're telling me a woman couldn't be a tiger?
That's true. I mean, there is a woman. It wouldn't be the same kind of terrifying.
I'm just backing you into a corner.
Like a snake is scary, but it's scary in a different way than a tiger is scary.
Right. Well, and snakes have softer features, which is we associate that with females.
Well, and back to your biblical thing. I mean, it's a male that's being kind of coerced and tempted by the snake, so it would be the opposite sex,
right? Yes,
is what they're thinking. I don't know what the snake was in the source material. I've never read the Jungle Book, so.
Right. And I only watched the Disney film as a kid, so I was pretty sure it was a dude, but I haven't seen it in years.
Maybe it was a really manly sounding female. Like we've got.
Tilda Swinton?
No, I was thinking Golden Girls. You got Blanche, Rose.
Oh, yeah.
What's Dorothy? Dorothy.
No, Blanche is the one. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Blanche was the one who is all like,
look at me, I'm slutty. Blanche is the slut. Rose is the dumbass. The sarcastic one, I believe her name's Dorothy. She kind of
might be right.
She's a little,
Yeah, she's got that man voice.
Which is fine. I actually like Dorothy. I like that show. But yeah, no, I was just reaching there. It would have been better if I had the name on tap. But.
Right. Damn, I can't be as quick as Deadpool with my pop culture references.
Pop culture references, right.
Pop culture references from like 25 years ago.
Yeah, I just pulled up a picture of Dorothy, and it's just perfect for this topic of conversation. But yeah,
she's just looking at us like what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Another piece of news: Jake Gyllenhaal might be joining the new Spider-Man sequel.
The first things I were reading was that he was, and then I kind of got walked back to he's in talks to do. He's going to do it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that he is going to play Mysterio.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be a villain I'd like to see.
He's got a fishbowl on his head.
Now, remind me, what was his deal? Like, what did he do to, as his power?
He's an actor.
Okay.
Who, I don't know, lost his job, so he went to bank robbing, as you do as a Spider-Man villain.
Sure.
And so he went and stole a bunch of special effects technology so he can create illusions.
Okay.
It's basically just holograms. It's basically it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
But he's got maybe the silliest costume in like mainstream comics.
That's fine. They can make it cool though.
Oh, they can.
Yeah.
They totally could. But I mean, it's a fishbowl in his head.
It is funny.
Purple cape. It's no good.
No, you know what? They should just do it fucking comic accurate.
I hope they do.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Really hope they do. But that also leads me to Michael Keaton is actually coming in,
which is good.
Yeah, and they sort of set up the Scorpion. That was the guy like in the mid-credits scene who comes up to him.
Yes.
The guy from Better Call Saul.
Yep. Okay.
So
now Michael Keaton, I would assume, will play some sort of a reformed, like I would assume he's like in prison and
Yeah, I'm sort of wondering if I got to imagine that they're building up to a Sinister Six. That's what this feels like to me. Because they already got the Shocker, they set up the Scorpion, and they got the Vulture. That's in one film.
Okay.
They'll do Mysterio, probably Scorpion. I got a feeling that Michael Keaton will show up for 1 to 2 scenes and maybe do like a Hannibal Lecter type thing.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Yeah, I would love that personally. And then when they eventually do a Sinister Six, maybe he can be the one who joins begrudgingly. Like he doesn't want to.
I see him as the type of character that's not actually a bad guy. Like he'll get his head on straight.
Right. I have a feeling that it'll be one of those he's being coerced. Like maybe somebody's got information on his daughter or his wife or something, and they're like, well, we need you. So yeah, expect that in the third one.
But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, that's pretty good.
That's a coup. I mean, dude was amazing in Nightcrawler.
Dude's been amazing for the last 5 years in like everything I've seen him in.
Right.
You know,
he's just talented. He's just a straight good actor.
I would actually say that Prisoners is one of the most underrated movies in a long time. That movie was fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. There's nothing else I can add other than it was great and he was great.
Well, how the hell did neither him or Jackman get any nominations for anything?
Yeah. That was
probably the best performance of Jackman's career.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think you definitely could make that argument.
And I mean, top one of the best of Gyllenhaal's career, and he wasn't even nominated for Nightcrawler either. I don't think.
Which
is disgusting.
Crime.
Yeah, I know.
It
just goes to show that the whole thing's a joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's why I follow the Oscars, but I don't ever get invested.
Right. Like, okay, you're telling me, I know people have been wanting Leonardo DiCaprio to win an Oscar forever or whatever. He's been nominated a bunch of times. There's nothing he's been nominated for or the one he won for that's better than Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler.
Right.
In my opinion.
And he wins for The Revenant?
Yeah. Where
all the things in his career for The Revenant.
Well, because he just like ran around intense all the time. That's all he knows how to do is be intense and yell at things. And this time he didn't have to say anything. He just ran around with like an intense look on his face. So,
yep.
And
he was in the woods and he really ate a spleen.
And Tom Hardy was great in that movie. He didn't win anything.
I actually feel like Tom Hardy was better in that movie than him.
He absolutely was better. Yes. Yes, 100% better. 100%.
No shade on Leo. He's a fine actor, but he's got a very limited range.
Yeah. Get mad and yell at people. Kind of like me. But that's all he knows. That's all he's really interesting when he does. He plays a really intense,
Like Wolf of Wall Street. Kind of hated him in that movie. I mean, that was the point of the character, was to make you dislike him. But
I think his best performance that I can think of was The Aviator. He was pretty good in that. But again, he's playing like a whacked out, like, pissing in jars in a back room somewhere,
I think he is the living definition of you peaked in high school. Because What's Eating Gilbert Grape is easily his best role.
I'm going to be honest here. I've never seen that movie.
It's a pretty solid movie.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I should probably see that one.
It's not great, but he's actually legitimately great in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not holding him up to like a real standard, though, I would assume. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I mean, it's kind of like...
How old was he?
I don't know. I want to say he was 14, 15.
So is he Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense good?
That's tough. You know what? God, that's tough. Because he's playing a mentally handicapped kid.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay,
So it's different because the emotional ranges aren't the same.
Okay, all right. Well, it's not fair to compare then. I'll see it though. We'll do a What's Eating Gilbert Grape episode.
Yes,
I'm sure everyone will want to tune into that.
Hey, there's probably somebody out there, probably a mom, who that's their favorite film because it's a little bit of a mom movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just gonna keep those labels because I like that. We watched a dad movie.
Yeah,
we'll watch a mom movie. We never saw Tully though.
We didn't see Tully. No,
it's too bad. I should go and see that. My mom saw it. Funny,
did she really?
Funny enough.
What'd you think?
She said it was interesting.
Okay, so all the moms would be interested in Tully.
Yeah.
All right.
There is one last thing I would like to discuss before we get into our plethora of reviews.
Okay.
Did you see that Happy Time Murders trailer?
Yes, before Deadpool I saw that one. That's the Muppet one,
yeah,
right?
Melissa McCarthy.
It made me concerned for the human race as I watched the trailer because it got laughs and it looked so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it played before Deadpool for you, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a perfect movie for it to be attached to.
Yeah.
It's juvenile fucking stupid humor. You know, not to say that Deadpool is like, you know, as bad as either of the Deadpool movies are bad or that they're as bad as this or whatever, but it makes sense.
Yeah. I think the strange thing to me is, okay, it's a trailer. Think about what the purpose of a trailer is. To sell you on a movie. We're going to put our best content in here to get you intrigued.
No, that was their best content.
What was that?
People laughed at it.
It was awful.
Right. You know what I thought so it's a Melissa McCarthy movie and a few of the other actresses who we've seen her with. They're turning into like the new Adam Sandler crew that's just going to make shit movies constantly. They're like the female version of the Adam Sandler and his buddies crew.
She's Kevin James. Except Kevin James
she's Adam Sandler.
Yeah, because she actually had a hit career before.
Right, and she's like the star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she's rallying up her posse of people.
But here's the thing. The only reason I equated her to Kevin James is because I despised Kevin James even more than Adam Sandler.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin James is not very funny.
No, he's not.
No.
He's just big and he yells, which is exactly what Melissa McCarthy does.
Yeah. Well, did you see Melissa McCarthy's in like a drama coming out where she's like,
good for her.
She plays a character, and it might be like a true story or something. I don't remember the title or the name of the character, but she plagiarizes like famous authors' letters.
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
I almost fell asleep during the trailer.
I was like, you know what? Good for you. Get the fuck out of what you're doing now because it's not working.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that trailer looked awful. In case anybody hasn't seen it, go and see it. Watch it right now. Pull it up on your phone. Put us on pause. Go and watch it. Did you watch? Okay, so you watched it. How'd you like that semen joke at the end? Wasn't that fucking funny?
It's not a semen joke. It's a silly string joke.
Oh, yeah. It's real funny. Oh, and then he stops for a little bit, and then he starts going again, because that's the funny part.
It was horrible. Like, and the people laughing, like, into the next trailer that was on.
I cannot believe that it's literally the joke. Every joke in it is, oh, but these are Muppets. They're not supposed to do that.
Right. Like the Muppets, the Muppet hookers who are like trying to, you know, get her. They think she's a man.
Yeah. I'm a woman. Okay, well, we'll still have sex
That's
with you.
better that you're a woman. Right.
That's hilarious. That's
the joke.
Yeah. Or there was one joke that
that's the joke. The joke is that two Muppets are fucking, and the one Muppet, when he ejaculates, it shoots silly string for a total of like 15 to 20 seconds.
And then he stops for a while.
Yep, and then he shoots more.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. It's real funny. There was one joke that actually felt like it was written, like it was a real joke.
Which one was that?
Joel McHale is in this, and he goes something like, "I'm part of the fucking FBI," and then the
FBI.
Sorry, the FBI.
Well,
sorry, my bad.
Federal puppet investigators or something.
Oh my God, you just wrote a better fucking joke than that's holy shit. You can't write that shit, people, but apparently we can.
Yeah.
But so Joel McHale's like, I'm part of the fucking FBI. And then the Melissa McCarthy's puppet partner, because they're cops.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He goes, oh, what's that fucking stand for? Fucking big idiot? That was a joke. That was a written joke.
I don't even remember that.
I have seen the trailer twice.
So have I, actually. So have I.
I probably have the trailer memorized at this point because it's just
you hate it that much.
It's an assault on the senses.
It looks really bad.
But yeah, considering we're on the topic of terrible things, how was The Commuter?
Oh, you just tried to set something up. You're not going to win here.
Okay.
The Commuter. So yeah, I watched The Commuter. Liam Neeson taken on a train.
Yep.
I thought the setup was like brilliant. Like
really?
The first 5 to 10 minutes were great.
Wow.
Like I would say I was very impressed. Like it starts with like basically he's like a sales guy who works in Manhattan and he has to take the train every morning. And it starts it was funny because I was thinking of the Loops from The Endless, because
there.
it starts like showing his morning.
Okay.
And then they keep like, he kind of is like walking into a room and it's a different morning and like the seasons change. But basically the idea is you're seeing like, okay, he does this every day.
Right.
He's got the same crew of people that ride the train, like the regulars, whatever.
Right.
I thought that was all really well done.
Okay.
And then he gets fired. So this is the setup. So this isn't a spoiler, people. So eat shit if you're going to get me for spoilers.
Wait, hold on. So he got fired on the day that this happens on the train?
So it's all connected though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he gets fired. He gets fired and he goes and has a drink with like his buddy cop, and fuck it, spoilers. Okay. So as soon as you meet,
We're not even
as
done
soon
with the
as
description.
No, fuck it. Everybody knows what it is. He's on a train and he basically gets a woman sits down next to him and says, "Hey, for $100,000, he's trying to send his kid to college and shit. He just
Right.
got canned, so he's desperate for money.
Right.
For $100,000, we just need you to do one thing for us, and there's a person on the train that doesn't belong. You don't know the person. It won't affect you at all. We just need you to do this one thing. Will you do it?" Okay, so that's the gist. Is basically he needs to find someone on the train
Okay.
for this bad woman. But anyways, spoilers. Okay. All right. So she, like, as soon as you meet his buddy, Patrick, what's his name? Patrick Wilson, the guy who was in The
Yeah.
Conjuring with
Yeah.
Vera Farmiga, who's also in the movie.
Okay.
I like him. First of
he's a
all.
good actor.
Yeah. So as soon as you meet him, you just knowing the type of movie it is, he's the bad guy. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, it was instantly, I was like, okay, that's the bad guy. They're setting this up. He's acting like, Liam Neeson used to be on the force, and 10 years ago he quit the force because it was just too much for him or whatever. And Patrick Wilson's still on the force, So Patrick Wilson's a cop, and he seems like a really good guy. He's bitching about his boss, played by Sam Neill, who I'm a big Sam Neill fan.
Yes.
So when he showed up, I was pretty excited.
Oh man, now I have to see this movie.
Well, I'm about to spoil the whole fucking thing.
That's fine.
But no, you would have known immediately that Patrick Wilson was the bad guy.
Okay.
But no, so the movie, like, it starts pretty good. Like, I was intrigued. Like, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. Because first of all, I like these kind of movies. I like Taken.
Right.
I'm a Liam Neeson fan. I love The Gray.
Did you-
Nonstop was shitty.
Did you like the third Taken film?
I haven't seen 2 or 3.
Okay.
So that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
Okay. So this one, he gets on the train. Basically, he has to find this person. Shit ensues. There's a bunch of fucking action scenes. Like, there's some interesting, intriguing, like, mystery to it. I thought, like, I was pretty, intrigued, although I knew who the bad guy was. And you're not supposed to know who the bad guy is until the end of the movie. But, like, there's scenes where just illogical bullshit where, like, he's in a train car. One of the train cars doesn't have AC. It's not working.
Okay.
So there's one train car that no one is sitting in because it's so hot. Like, very convenient, right? So there's a spot where, like, when there's a scene where you need him to, like, talk on the phone or, like, give some exposition about what's going on, and he needs to do it in private, they literally have, like, this is the exposition train car. But of course, there's, like, gunfights and shit and action scenes that happen here too.
Right, because there's nobody in there, so you can have your stunt guys move freely.
And nobody notices, like, on this train when, like, fucking windows are being shot out and all this shit, and nobody notices on this train.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just picturing him in there, and since it's hot in there when he's on the phone, he's got to talk to somebody. He's all, so he's sweating and he's breathing heavy.
No, that would have made sense.
None of that. They didn't even take advantage of that.
They literally, he doesn't look hot or sweaty in there. Like, people walk through and they'll say out loud, like, "Oh, gee, this train car's hot." You know what I mean? Like, something like that'll happen. But honestly, I'm ripping on the movie. I was entertained.
Okay.
It has a horrible, like, CGI thing at the end. But I'd give it like a C minus, maybe C. It's like an average movie.
You are in a forgiving mood.
But there's one part at the end where Patrick Wilson, he's the cop who go like after the train has stopped.
Okay.
Like, you know, everybody, Liam Neeson has figured out who the person is. And like he's holding the people in the train car hostage because he knows he's not really holding them hostage. He's protecting them.
Right.
From the mob or whoever the hell wants to kill the person who, you know, they sent him to look for. And Patrick Wilson comes in as like the negotiator. You know, he's my friend. Like I can talk him down. You know what I mean? So he comes in and they've got him like they've got a thing on him where so they've covered up the windows of the train with newspaper so that nobody can see into the train car from outside. But somebody has like some thermal glass, like, you know, night vision type goggles, whatever.
Thermals.
Yeah, right. So they're looking in and they can see that Patrick Wilson, he's tagged, so he's blue, and everybody else is orange, and there's like 8 people in there or something.
Okay.
So like it ends up being like a fight. Liam Neeson basically quickly discovers like, wait, you're the fucker. Like, you're my friend. How could you do this?
I wish that was the line.
I mean,
you're the fucker.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. But no, so they're fighting or whatever. And then like everybody else starts fighting with him. And like the guy's got the thermal vision glasses, whatever, and he's looking through the train car, and like they cut away from that for a second. Everybody's fighting with him. Like everybody takes their turn. And then like Liam Neeson's fighting with him again, and the guy with the goggle, he just knows that it's Liam Neeson. Like at this point, he should be like confused,
right,
as to which character has the like which one's Liam Neeson,
right?
You know what I mean? But yeah, the whole movie, there's a lot of stuff like that just doesn't make much sense. I mean, I've forgotten most of it, to be honest with you.
Sounds cliche.
It is.
And sloppily put together.
It's entertaining. It's an entertaining movie.
I think the thing that we need to remember is that Jackson likes the dad movies.
Is it a dad movie? Are these Taken type movies? Are they dad movies?
They're the new dad movies.
Well, yeah, I suppose. And like literally his family, he's trying to save his family because once he decides he won't do what the chick asks him to do, they threaten his family.
Liam Neeson is just doing the movies that Harrison Ford can no longer do.
I'll tell you what, he's got this shit down though. Like he's very good at like the intense.
I have to protect my family.
He's very good at it. Yeah, it's great.
I didn't kill my wife.
But no, I would give it if I was on Rotten Tomatoes, it would have a ripe tomato from me. But did you see anything? I saw a few things.
Well, I did see something.
Okay.
But I'm gonna save that for a little bit later.
Oh,
there's
tease.
There's something that you saw that I'm actually very curious about.
Okay.
Fahrenheit 451.
Oh yeah, the HBO made for HBO movie Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, you've got Michael Shannon, you've got
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, wrong.
All right, Jim Rome.
It's a pile of shit. Like The Commuter is 10 times better of a film.
Wow.
Than this. Yes.
That's a statement.
It's a pile of dog shit. Okay, so Michael B. Jordan plays the main character. Don't even remember his name. And to be honest, I've never read Fahrenheit 451. I saw the old movie from like the 60s or whatever, like years ago. Right. That's my knowledge of the story. I know it's kind of like an anti-communist, allegory.
Right, yeah. Anti-totalitarian
government. Right, correct. Yeah, so Michael B. Jordan plays a young man who works under Michael Shannon, who has kind of raised him because Michael B. Jordan's dad died in the past. They're firefighters, which in this era means they burn books.
Yep.
Only in this movie, it's not like physical books so much as it is like hard drives and shit.
Right. Yeah. We're controlling the internet because we're updating it for the modern age.
Michael B. Jordan. I really like Michael B. Jordan.
Right. He's a great actor.
He was directed in this to basically, like, if he had an emotion or something, to try and put it on his face. So, like, there's scenes where, like, he has a flashback and the camera will, like, zoom in on him. And it's just like anyone in the room would look over and be like, dude, what the fuck's wrong, man? You know what I mean?
Why did you eat that? That's been sitting out all day.
He looked, it was bad. It was bad. Like they kept doing flashbacks because the thing is they use these drops that make them like forget their memories are all fucking wiped or whatever.
Okay.
And like he's having flashbacks of his father who was a firefighter, but his father was secretly like keeping books.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he got murdered by the other firefighters. And throughout the movie, we learn this through these little flashbacks that just come like you can see when a flashback is coming. Like it's blatantly obvious every time one comes. The actors, there was just nothing they could do. Like, okay, when they go to a book burning, like here's an example of what the movie is like. So you go to a book burning and you get all the books and whatever, you set up to burn them, and there's camera crews that are like recording this and showing it to the populace, but they're not watching it on their televisions.
Okay.
No. They're watching it on big blown up like holograms on the sides of skyscrapers and shit. It is fucking asinine. It felt like an NBC movie, like a made for TV network television movie.
So it's HBO.
Correct.
Where were the boobs?
No boobs.
F.
He gets an F. Yeah, it was.
I just don't understand why HBO, like, that's their thing.
Well, and I
Show the
like
boobs.
that. I like that the Indian girl, or I don't know what nationality she is. The one who was in The Mummy.
Oh yeah,
who played the Mummy. I like her.
Yeah.
Her from the Kingsman.
Kingsman. Yeah.
So yeah, no, she sucked. The only one that was worthy of my time was Michael Shannon. But even he, I mean, he was being, standard
Michael Shannon, which is great.
Right, but not when it's like horribly. There, like everything was so on the nose as far as the metaphors are concerned.
That's what I was going to say about my initial criticism when I watched the trailer. I was like, this feels way too on the nose as far as metaphors go to have any sort of nuance or any sort of anything interesting to say.
It's terrible. There's a scene where Michael Shannon's talking to Michael B. Jordan, like, he's talking to him, and he's like, take your lighter, burn me. And he holds his hand out, palm down, palm face down, and Michael B. Jordan holds the lighter under his hand, and he says something along the lines of like, I've been burned so many times I don't even feel the flames anymore, or whatever. And it's like, oh, you're hardened from all your, it was like that. It was like, okay, get it? He's not talking about real fire. It's the, he's been through some shit.
Yeah,
like,
got it.
Really, it was terrible.
That sounds.
Yeah, it was bad.
That really sounds bad.
It was really bad.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's not worth your time, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to be bored as fuck. I wasn't even annoyed because I was like laughing at it, but it's like from the opening scene, I watched it with a buddy of mine and I just looked over like 2 minutes into the movie. I was like, this is fucking awful. It is broken. It is completely broken.
Isn't it weird how the older you get, it feels like the sooner you can tell a movie's broken?
The more movies you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We felt the same way about The Heart of the Sea. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it's like that's really strange that you felt that 2 minutes in.
Oh, it was terrible, dude. Like immediately something was wrong.
I felt that recently too. I've been there.
Yeah, it's really obnoxious.
But I saw a really weird movie on Netflix. It's a Korean movie called Psychokinesis.
Okay.
It's a Netflix original. So the opening scene sees a girl, and she owns a restaurant, and she's got like the best chicken in all of like the area that she lives. And then she's being forced out of her building, and her mom's trying to stop these a gang of construction dudes show up at her building. And basically, you find out later in the movie they are bulldozing like all of her sort of section, all the little shops there, and they're gonna put in a mall for like the Chinese tourists and stuff.
Okay.
So her mom gets killed by these construction guys. Pull her out of a car, her head hits the concrete, and she dies.
So is it like a revenge movie of some sort?
It is a little bit. And then the movie takes a really weird twist. It gets really weird. Okay, so the first scene when they're showing her cooking, it's like a news report. And it's like all fun and everybody's happy. And then when she's getting pulled out, it's nightmarish and it's awful. And you're like, holy shit, I feel terrible for this one. Like I was really invested. And then we cut to a man that we have no idea who he is. And he's really silly. He's a very silly fuck. And he goes out to a stream. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a meteor that lands. And then like kind of like it does like a early 2000s X-Men type thing where it lands And then we see some of the residue from the meteorite get into some soil, and then it goes into the water, and then it comes out of a spout, and then we see this silly man drink the water. He gets psychokinetic powers.
Okay.
He is her father. He abandoned her at a young age, and he is now coming back into her life after finding out that her mom died. And it's about him trying to become a better father, deal with these new powers, and become a better person, and stop all this terrible, progress. You're ruining my daughter's business,
Okay.
It's a very strange movie. I was really invested early on, but then somewhere along the way, it just became strange because the tonal shifts are huge. Because he's a silly. Okay, have you ever seen Jackie Chan's Drunken Master?
I walked out of it.
Did you really?
Yes.
So did you ever get to see him do drunken fighting?
I think I saw like a train scene, I seem to remember, at the beginning of the movie where he was fighting somebody.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, and I didn't stay. I was like, stoned out of my mind or something. And I didn't, it was a lot of dubbed dialogue.
It was dubbed?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe it was fucking subtitled, but either way, I wasn't having it at the time I walked out.
Yeah, not a great movie, but that's got some great fight scenes. But as silly and drunk Jackie Chan was, this guy is actually more of that.
Okay.
He's really over the top, really weird. And it just clashes with this girl's very serious story. It was like a weird, it was almost like a Korean take on a superhero origin. Cause like all of her friends love him because they're like, oh, he can save us. He's going to save the village and whatever. And he does like these weird things where he does like a dance. He builds a wall to stop the contractors from getting in so that they can take out their business. Oh, and so a normal person would be like, well, you have to fucking move.
Right.
The thing is that they got lowballed. They got lowballed for their land, like as far as what it was worth.
I think it's funny. You're like, the way you're describing this movie, it's like you're talking about two different movies.
Right.
Like there's one that's like this family drama about someone in like Depression era losing their land, and then there's one that's about a sci-fi superhero supervillain movie or something.
And that's very much how it feels. They don't really meld all that well. I had a fine time with it until probably about 3/4 of the way in.
And then you were done.
It just too many tonal shifts.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe check it out. Broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
Read a movie.
Yeah, I enjoy subtitles.
I actually do.
Yeah. It's something different.
Yeah.
It's usually like a weird, movie because you're not used to whatever culture is making. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I always find interesting about them is just you do get a very different culture and you can feel it almost immediately with everything that's going on.
I watched another one too. One more real quick before we get into Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
I watched a movie called Spring. And I wrote a review of it. It's up on our website, www.boredandanoid.com.
That's a little plug.
Yeah, a little plug. But no, it's awesome. And it's from Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, who I've now seen all 3 of their films. The only thing I have left of theirs to see is apparently in the last VHS movie. You remember those movies? They were like horror anthology movies. They did one of the stories. So I want to see that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I don't know what it's about or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, it's basically this guy down on his luck. He's lost his job, lost both his parents, like everything's gone to shit, decides to go to Rome. He gets a suggestion to leave and he says, fuck it, I have the money, I have a passport, I'll go to Rome.
Right.
Meets this like insanely gorgeous girl who's interested in him immediately. And it turns out that things are not what they seem. She randomly turns into a monster at times. Like very disgusting monster. Like each time you see her transform, it's kind of a different thing. Like she'll look like a wolf kind of in one scene, and she'll look like a fucking octopus or something in another.
She doesn't. Oh, well, she's got variety.
And there's an explanation for that in the movie, and it's very well done and well thought out.
It's because variety is the spice of life.
That's true. But yeah, anyways, it turns into this love story between this guy and this girl, and it's like, there's a ton of like deep deep themes in the movie, I would say.
Speaking of a deep theme, do you think there's a theme in a woman turning into a monster?
Uh,
As the person who said that women are snakes.
I mean, there's a theme in basically, you know, a girl who looks like that.
They come with
Yeah,
a little bit extra.
they're
something.
dangerous. Yes, correct. But no, I mean, it turns out like probably the best like romance. I mean, it's not like I watch a ton of romance movies, but fucking great as far as all that shit's concerned. Like
Right.
dealing with the idea of like two people falling in love, you know, and like maybe one person's more in love with the other person than they are with them, you know.
Okay.
So that it gets very interesting. Those two fucking directors are the shit. I'm in love with these two guys.
Right.
They're making awesome movies, and they don't feel like shit you've seen. Like they take a little bit of a ton of different shit, and they make something that feels original.
Right.
You know, it's an original new take on like in this one. I would say I compared it to like Beauty and the Beast, kind of.
That sounds pretty apt.
Right, and I don't want to get too far into how it's like Beauty and the Beast and how it's different from Beauty and the Beast because you'll spoil the story, but
Because
it's
there's
very good.
There's a talking clock and candle in it.
No, there's none of that. Come on now. But no, there's some very brutal, like, you know, like she when she turns into one of these monsters, she like eats animals and shit.
Oh, cool.
It's fucking nuts. And it's gross too. I mean, I you know, it's gross.
Okay.
But, you know, that stuff doesn't bother me. It was more like, wow, I really like this girl. Like she's very nice and I don't want to see this happen to her anymore. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good writing.
But at the same time, she's not a victim. Like you think she is at first, but it's more layered than that.
Good. I'm getting to the point because you said Resolution was really good and really deep and really well thought out.
Yes.
Endless was all of those things.
Correct.
Endless is still a movie. It's really interesting. I actually still at downtime at work, I still find myself thinking about that movie. And
Right.
It's been weeks since I saw it.
Oh, I'm going to be thinking about this one for a while. I mean,
So-
it's you know, it buries itself in your head.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that Deadpool does that in a good way.
I would say that I've forgotten most of Deadpool 2 already.
Yeah, let's so we're going into our review here. I walked out annoyed.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was like very good. It didn't feel fresh like the first one when I saw it.
Yes.
I thought it was okay. I get a little tired of just pop culture reference after pop culture reference, and that's your only quote unquote jokes.
Yeah, the jokes were not jokes, and none of the. I mean, I want to say the first film had a 75 to like 95% hit rate on jokes as far as me as an individual
laughing
goes.
at the jokes.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
This one had like a 5 to 10%.
Yeah, I think I probably laughed at 1 out of every 5 jokes. It's a 2-hour long Family Guy episode.
Right.
That's what it is. It's got a loosely like story, like, you know, the plot of the week is this bullshit.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll like, okay, we're going to have random jokes. I don't even want to call them
They're
that.
not jokes.
It's you ever see the South Park episode with the manatees that are the writers for
Yes.
Family Guy?
Yes.
They fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is like nothing is attached to what's happening in the story. None of the jokes are. They're not like set up in a way where it's like, wow, they set that up 5 scenes ago
Yep.
and now there's like a payoff. No, it's just like, I'm not gonna fuck my sister like Luke Skywalker did or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
It felt like the subtitle of this movie should have been, I understood that reference, as being quoted by Captain America in the Avengers.
I knew that was what you were talking about. Yeah, no, it was
because
completely.
that's what this movie is I understood that reference, the movie.
But I thought it had like, I thought Deadpool had a decent arc as far as, I mean, he's doing it for a selfish reason in the end because he, wants to get back to his
Right.
lady.
Right.
But but at the beginning of the movie, he's jaded or whatever, and he's an asshole. And by the end, it's like he's grown to like this kid and whatever, you know.
Well, the thing that gets me about that is the beginning of the movie felt very, very disjointed.
Well, let's talk about the plot of the movie quick.
Okay.
We didn't really get into the plot. We just dove right into shitting on it.
Well, let's just do a quick rundown because we're still into spoiler free right here.
Okay, yeah.
So a quick run.
Did I give any spoilers in that?
No.
By the end, he likes the kid.
By the end, he likes the kid, but I mean,
yeah,
you fucking saw
right.
that coming.
Sure, yeah.
So his girlfriend dies. He gets all pissed off, gets depressed. Some things happen. He ends up in jail. And a man comes back and is trying to kill this kid that he meets in jail.
Right, and he basically has to try and stop Cable.
Yes,
Cable.
We know Josh Brolin.
Yeah, from killing the kid.
Right, and that's sort of the basic premise. I would say that as a character, Deadpool is designed to be a giant parody on the entirety of the superhero genre, not just in film but in comics as well. And in that, part of the definition of parody is to subvert expectations and make a commentary on something. There is almost no commentary on anything in the superhero genre in this film of any substance. They just regurgitate.
No, it's another superhero movie with a standard plot.
Yes.
That makes references to other shit.
Yes, there is. It's way less biting in its humor. It's way less relevant in its humor than the first. And the humor is much more tired, and the jokes a lot of them are regurgitated or just references.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of the jokes. I mean, there's a couple bits I remember.
Black Widow, as if that's fucking funny.
See, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was at the end of the
That's
movie.
how great it is. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
I mean, getting into spoilers.
Yeah, let's just do spoilers.
Well, first off, would you recommend the movie?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I'd recommend it to a general movie-going audience because most people will not be as picky as me.
But you told me you hated this.
I do.
You can't recommend a movie you hate.
Well, here's the thing. Humor is very, very subjective. And I think the action sequences work well enough. I think the acting is fine enough. But yeah, there are a lot of things that don't work in this movie. So yeah, it sucks because I would like to recommend this to people because I know that there are people out there that would enjoy it. But I fucking just... I'm so pissed with how this movie turned out. I really am.
I'm not pissed because the first one, I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. But the first one had like a cool, like a really... I thought it was a good like love story in it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good like origin story. It was kind of tragic.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't just like, okay, the plot doesn't matter. We'll come up with some dumb bullshit involving an annoying kid.
Yeah.
And we'll just, the jokes aren't going to matter. Like, the jokes aren't going to be related to the plot anyway, so who cares?
Right.
Like, I didn't feel that way about the first one. Even though a lot of the jokes weren't related to what was happening, they still had like an intriguing plot. I think your average person who doesn't give a shit about superhero movies or whatever would have gotten some joy out of the first one.
Right. And there was some legitimately fun bits of playing around with Deadpool's powers. Like, you've got something funny where he tries to kick Colossus in the nuts and he breaks his foot. Or... Colossus is taking him away and he's got him in handcuffs, and then Wade cuts his own hand off, and when Colossus pulls up the hand to look at what it's doing, it's flicking him off. That shit was funny because it was unexpected. You're getting to know the character, and they're kind of playing around with his powers and what you can do with somebody who has an infinite, regeneration ability.
Right.
There's nothing like that here.
There's not much like it.
No.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
I would recommend it because I thought I had a few laughs. It was okay. What's funny is I'm going to get roasted just for saying I thought it was okay. Because I know people have seen it and fucking love it. But
right. Well, and that's the thing that sucks about this is I know that people are just going to be like, well, there's fucking Home at the Movies shitting on another good movie. It's just fun. Get the stick out of your ass.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm fine with juvenile humor. Tropic Thunder has a lot of juvenile humor.
Yeah, but Tropic Thunder's humor is smart.
It is smart, though.
It's smart.
That's the thing, though.
Yes.
Like, there's real craftsmanship in the jokes.
Correct.
And that's the thing that I don't like about this is, like, it doesn't even feel like Deadpool to me anymore. It feels like Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool.
Okay.
Because, okay, so...
Oh, he's loving himself in this, by the way.
Yes,
he fucking loves that he has this role.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
And, fuck. It makes me mad. Like, the jokes are so fucking bad. They're tired.
All right, well, hold on. Let's go into spoilers.
Okay.
We've both given our recommendations or non-recommendations of the movie.
Right.
All right, spoilers. A couple jokes from the movie. Let's hear them.
Okay, so there's a joke in the first one where Wade gets his hand cut off, and he grows back a little baby hand because it has to grow to adult size. In this, he has a lower half that's a child lower half because his body gets cut in half. And so that's the joke. Isn't it funny? Look at Ryan Reynolds. He's got a little baby legs.
Yeah, but that part was funny to me because you're referencing the first movie, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I mean, the way the whole scene played out, that was my favorite joke of the movie. That had me laughing the hardest out of anything in the movie.
I guess the thing was I was led to believe I was going to be surprised in this movie, but nothing surprised me. Like, nothing surprised me, and I didn't see any spoilers on this. All I saw was that you are going to be shocked of what they do in this, and it's more of what you saw in the first, which is true. It's more of the bad things that you saw in the first.
It's more of like the people that would insult the first Deadpool. Like this is basically,
yes,
let's put that all in a movie. And prove them right that it's just, there's no talent. You know, it's funny because they make that meta joke about how it's lazy screenwriting.
Yes.
And it is incredibly lazy screenwriting.
See, that's the thing that I hate. So there's that term in film where it's called hanging a lampshade on it.
Okay.
Where there's something stupid in your movie, but if you have a character mention that it's stupid, then the audience will believe that you're in on the joke, and it's fine. It's just don't take it too seriously. But here's the thing. There are terrible things in it that are bad screenwriting that they don't call out as bad screenwriting. And just because you say it's bad screenwriting doesn't save you from the fact that it's bad screenwriting.
No, yeah, it's not an impressive movie.
No,
it's a really really high budget episode of Family Guy. I'm going to say it again. That's all this movie is,
right.
Really. And I am entertained by Family Guy, so I was reasonably entertained by this. I would say, though, that, yeah, the jokes weren't landing for me. And honestly, like, I don't think the audience it was landing for. And they probably still walked out of there thinking, like, oh, that was hilarious. But there were plenty of times when there was, like, a real, a quick one-liner that nobody laughed at.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is, too, this movie's humor was kind of catered to me because there are a lot of jokes that are meant for comic book audiences and comic book movie audiences.
There were a ton of jokes, film audiences in general.
Yeah, but I mean, there are character. Okay, so there's a character in this movie called Shatterstar, and he joins. Deadpool is creating an X-Force to stop Cable from going to kill the kid in the movie, who is Ricky Baker in Hunt for the Wilder People. Which
great movie.
Yeah, you should all check that out. But there's a character that joins up with his team called Shatterstar, and he's an alien, and they do all like these jokes of like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I could meet a planet full of people that are worse than me, or, I'll go there and be their Superman, shit like that. Like that was funny. But it's a character that if you know from the comics, they kind of get him right, but then they just sort of kill him.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds gets the thing at the end that makes the entire plot of the movie inconsequential and nothing mattered.
Exactly. Yep.
And in any other movie, that would be like, that's fucking retarded, but it works in this because it's Deadpool, so they get away with doing shit that,
Right, because it took away all the stakes from the film. And the whole idea of Wade needs to learn to be a better person. Children make us better. That's what his girlfriend says to him before she dies. And he doesn't become a better person. He does everything that he does in this film so that he can see his girlfriend again.
That's true. That is true.
TJ Miller has this fucking stupid ass line. I have to do it selflessly. And then he's like, I don't understand what you mean. And he's like, I need to, that's what my girlfriend was saying when she said that to me in heaven or whatever. And he's like, no, I literally don't know what the meaning of the word selfless is. That's a terrible, terrible fucking joke. He's a human being who lives on Earth. He's not fucking like Drax or something. That's a word. Even if you've never come across that word, you can infer its meaning.
I'll tell you what, if TJ Miller quit Silicon Valley on HBO to go do shit like this, thinking he's going to be like this big star hotshot fuck, and he's too good for that show now.
He did the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, he's an idiot for that, because I would be willing to bet that Erlich Bachman on Silicon Valley is probably the best thing he'll ever do in his career. Mm-hmm. That would be my guess.
Also,
he was terrible in this.
Also, he didn't leave that show. He was let go. He was asked to leave.
Well, apparently he got in fights with, he didn't like a lot of the people on the show. I didn't hear that he was asked to leave.
Yeah,
that's not what I heard.
I heard that he was, it's Hollywood, so they're going to protect it. But yeah, he was difficult to work with. Apparently he got drunk on a train not too long ago and tried to have a woman arrested, and he got arrested.
No, he's a douchebag.
Yeah, he seems like he's just...
He called in a bomb threat.
Yes, that was what it was. He called it a bomb threat on this woman because he didn't like her. Yeah, he got into a disagreement with a woman on a train and called in a bomb threat.
Yeah, so hopefully...
but that didn't ruin the movie for me. I was like, I'm going to try and just enjoy this movie.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about a joke I liked.
Okay.
Because it wasn't about a reference.
Yeah. Okay.
I liked the part. So there's a scene where they're trying out all the different superheroes.
Yeah.
And Deadpool has this cabbie guy, this little Indian cab driver guy, who I thought was one of the highlights of this movie, to be honest with you.
I'd say he is the highlight.
Right. So his name's Dopinder.
I love Dopinder.
Yeah. And so he keeps saying I want to be an assassin, I want to join the team, or whatever. And they're trying out all these superhero people, and they all have special powers. And then this guy comes in, Peter or something. Yeah, yes. He comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I would like to try out." And he's like, "Well, what do you do? What's your power?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I just saw the ad and whatever. I don't have any powers."
Sounded like fun.
Yeah. And then he's like, "All right, you're in." And then Dopinder throws a little mini shit fit. God damn it! I've been trying to get in, and you won't let me. That was a funny scene. It was set up.
Yep.
And there was a payoff, and it was fucking funny.
And I did like the whole. And see, I say I hated this movie, but it's because by the end of the movie, it just worn me down. But if I'm honest, there were moments in which I liked it, because I did like Dopinder's whole bit about, I want to be your young Kirsten Dunst, and in Vampire's Kiss. Or not Vampire's Kiss. Sorry, that's another great movie.
No, Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire, because he's trying to get Deadpool.
Yeah, but it is funny. It's the only that's a very manipulative joke there, because it's not depending on people having seen Interview with the Vampire. You just need to know what a 10-year-old Kirsten Dunst would look like, or something, or have an imagination.
Right.
So.
Well, I felt it like
another weak fucking reference.
Well, I felt like it was reliant on you seeing the movie, because you had to understand that, Tom Cruise was a vampire, and he was making young Kirsten Dunst into a vampire, and Dopinder wants Deadpool to turn him into a mercenary him.
But he kind of explains that.
Yes, but that's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's sort of where I get some of the joy. It's not really a joke. It's just kind of hey, isn't it funny? There's a parallel here, and it's sort of weird how that's where his mind goes for a mentor-mentee relationship. So I guess in that regard, it's kind of funny. And you'll notice that's a joke from very early on in the movie. Yes. When I was still undecided on the movie.
Right. So if that would have come later, it wouldn't have hit with you.
Yes.
I would imagine.
And I'll tell you the exact moment where I started worrying about the film, and it's very, very, very early on. It's when he's on the rooftop and he's going to kill those Yakuza guys or whatever. And they call him, and he's on his cell phone, and he's like, "Oh, I don't speak Taiwanese, but I did take high school Spanish, and donde está la biblioteca," which means I don't fucking negotiate, fuckwad, or something. And that's the literal translation of it. And I'm like, that's not a joke.
Yeah, the beginning was a bit of a mess in general. I was like, ooh, this is not... I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I don't really understand why he's killing all these people. And I know they were showing you so they could go back or whatever and show you,
Yes.
But it was and it wasn't great action either.
It really wasn't.
No.
Considering that this was one of the guys who directed
John Wick, right?
Yeah. And I feel like you can really tell because the comedic timing I don't think it was just the writing of the jokes. I also think the timing was off on a lot of things. And I think that's a director thing.
Yeah,
But
probably.
but it's also just too much excess of just Ryan Reynolds being able to do Ryan Reynolds things and not having enough of a story or structure to the jokes or to the narrative to make it work.
Well, yeah, that's the best jokes in the movie to me are things that are like set up within the Deadpool universe. I'm not impressed with these references.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I get a kick out of, like, I'm not a huge comic book guy. I read some once in a while.
Right.
But I did get a kick out of the Juggernaut thing. By the way, Juggernaut's in this.
Yes.
He shows up and basically Deadpool starts talking about like which books were his favorite. Like, oh, you're my favorite. Blah, blah, blah. I like that. That's okay. Like breaking the fourth wall there.
I wanted to laugh about it, but at that point I was just not engaged because there's a point early on. So you know, they're transporting Julian. I forget his last name, but Julian from Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yes, sure.
And they're on that train.
Fire Fist was his name.
Fire Fist,
right? That's his hero name.
Yeah. And Juggernaut's on the convoy with him, and there's a point where Deadpool jumps, and he sees Cable jump, and he lands on the thing, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. So now it's my turn, and you're just like, got it. You're not gonna do it because that's what Deadpool does. He jumps, and then it doesn't work out for him, and he falls, and it's hilarious. And that's exactly what happens. And they broadcast these jokes. So like there's the guy who molests children. He's the head of an orphanage. It's where Julian's character is being saved from initially before he goes to jail. And you know, we find out he did experiments on these mutant kids and he was a child molester. And there's this wide shot and they're like, Deadpool's like, it's at the end of the film, and Deadpool's like, don't kill him. There's enough senseless bloodshed, which should be the tip off to the audience. Like, there's no fucking way Deadpool says this. But then Dopinder comes out of nowhere and hits him with his car. But it's so telegraphed.
Yeah.
Because it's a wide shot. You've seen it a million times before.
Alex just got a text.
Yes, I did. It smells like pizza here.
She's making something downstairs.
It smells fucking awesome.
Well, it probably has it has no meat on it, whatever it is, so it can't be that good.
Cowabunga, dude. You remember that? That's power. That's Ninja Turtles.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
What a joke. What a joke.
Yeah, there you go. That's a joke. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess, you know, silly string coming out of a puppet's pecker is a joke now. So
yeah,
what's not a joke?
That was
days?
the primer for the movie.
Yeah, I mean, but what did you think of Juggernaut?
I thought
like the look of him and shit.
I thought the CGI was lacking, but I think that was the budget thing.
Yeah, no, I thought he looked pretty cool. I mean,
I think he looked pretty cool. Hated the fact that Colossus, while fighting him, pulled down part of his pants, so we saw his ass crack.
Oh, of
for
course,
no
of
fucking
course.
reason.
What else? There was another one that was like so stupid. Was when Deadpool's like, I forget what the action scene was, but basically he's like jumping and Cable just jumped, and like his nuts are gonna end up in Cable's face.
Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure happened in the first movie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds' junk landed on one of those random bad guys at the beginning when he's in the car.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that happened. But also he does the whole like time for a superhero landing, does that shit again. Like, saw it the first time. Is all of your commentary on the superhero genre like this? And then it's like, oh, we're going to put a team together. That's our commentary. Oh, but then our subversion of the commentary is that we're going to kill everybody on the team. But then the subversion of that subversion is that we're just going to bring them all back. Which is like...
Yeah, what was the point?
What...
But again, though, here's where I'm going to defend it a little bit.
Okay.
Is it's Deadpool, so who gives a shit?
Right.
It's not...
Wait, that's your defense? It's Deadpool, so who gives a shit?
Right. I mean, I'm not a Deadpool fanatic or fan or whatever.
I'm not either. I don't want to misrepresent myself.
But my point is, like, I mean, isn't that... From what I gather, seeing these films, having played video games where he's just like a shit-talking asshole or whatever... I mean, he's not meant to be taken too seriously, right? I mean,
No.
I don't excuse the movie for not having like a cohesive, interesting narrative like the first one did.
Right.
But the fact that like he just undoes everything that was done in the movie at the end doesn't really bother me.
No, I'm not going to say that bothered me. I think in a better movie, well, okay, I should take that back. It did bother me, but in a better, more competent movie, it would not have bothered me.
Okay.
Because at that point, it's just another thing that I can add to my list of stupid decisions in this film. Like,
Sure.
just from a behind the screen, what were you thinking when you wrote this? Like, and I hate the fact that it's the idea of like, oh, we're subverting the genre by starting a team. Everybody on that team dies. So then by the end of this new one, we have a new team. It's Cable, and he joins us, and blah, blah, blah. And that's our new team going forward. That's the new X-Force.
Do you think that Brolin's going to really want to come back and do a bunch of these movies?
I would hope not.
I don't think he's going to.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Did you like him in this very much?
I like Brolin. Yeah, I thought Brolin was fine, but the problem was it was nothing. There was nothing given to his character.
Right. Well, and his plot, the fact that he wants to kill the kid, it's so blatantly obvious why.
I cannot believe in a Deadpool movie they played that so fucking straight.
They did. They really did. Like, they didn't. Were there Terminator jokes?
No.
Like, it should have just been like, oh, real original fucking Cable. You're doing the Terminator plot line.
Right. Well, the worst thing to me is Cable actually does come out of basically that because he was created in the 90s just like Deadpool. Oh, one of my favorite jokes, even though it's kind of a shit joke. But it's one of my favorites because I don't like. So the guy who created Deadpool is Rob Liefeld, and
he has a bad reputation, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of a douche. But one of my favorite lines in the film is, "Who the fuck would design this as a character? Probably somebody who can't draw feet." That's one of the things that Rob Liefeld is known for. He has really, really weird looking feet in his drawings.
So that's a joke, like for a tiny segment of the.
And I liked that they threw that in for me and, the 2% of audiences that will get it. But other than that, like, I'm not impressed with all of your fucking references.
Sure.
So, yeah, the idea that he's forming a new team, it's like, so you want to make a commentary about there are all these superhero teams, and that's like the new thing in superhero movies is everybody's got a team. Justice League, Avengers, Suicide Squad, X-Men. And then he just has his team at the end rather than subverting the expectation that he's going to have a team. And then I hate the fact that they threw in the cliche, we're a family now. We learned about family. Family isn't an F word. Yeah, fuck you. That's what I think of your fucking family narrative. You nailed it just about as much as Suicide Squad nailed it, which is to say not at all.
Is this worse than Suicide Squad?
No.
No.
There are moments of legitimate enjoyment here.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess if I were to give it a grade, I'd probably give it like a D.
Okay.
I guess technically you passed, but you made me so goddamn mad that I don't want to make you pass.
That's not a fresh tomato.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, in school, technically it's a passing grade.
Right.
I relied on that a couple times.
Yeah,
not proud of it.
Lord knows I did too. Yeah, I a C. I wasn't bored. I wasn't too annoyed, but it sounds like you were both bored and annoyed during this one.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say, so I'm able to separate my comic fandom from my, just sort of general enjoyment of films. So I didn't let these things sort of ruin the movie for me, because you have to look at a movie as like it's an adaptation. They got to make changes.
Sure. But
I really hate, like, objectively, they made Cable's story much worse. There's a huge, great example. So do you remember that scene where he's looking at himself in the mirror and he's kind of touching like his robotic arm?
Sure.
That has no meaning in this movie because they didn't set up what that is. So in the future, there's a techno-organic virus that's spreading around Earth. And
yeah, I didn't get that at all.
Exactly. So it turns you into like a metal man. And, it's kind of one of those things like it reaches your brain and you're dead. So the thing about Cable is he's actually the son of Jean Grey and Cyclops. So he is actually a psychic. So the reason that he's not dead is he uses his psychic ability to keep that techno-organic virus only in his arm. So by doing so, he won't die, but he's also effectively just a normal dude.
So he's just like a really badass guy.
Yeah.
With a metal arm.
Yes. And he is from the future, but he also comes from a future where, Apocalypse from that shit film, X-Men Apocalypse, he actually wins and he does the whole survival of the fittest thing.
So he's from a post-apocalyptic future.
Absolutely. And he absolutely is inspired by the Terminator. I mean, he came out after the Terminator film came out, after the first one. So he is just a straight up ripoff of Terminator.
Yeah, I didn't get on any of that, though.
But they could have made a huge commentary on it. But this movie is just full of missed opportunities. And that's what pisses me off. It's like Deadpool is a prime chance to do some really daring stuff and some really biting humor and really dig in on the superhero genre. And it doesn't do any of it. It settles for the lowest common denominator. And that's what pisses me off.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end it. I thought that was a pretty good sign out. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was good.
Yeah.
No. But
we're going to watch another shit film next week.
I don't know. I've got my hopes up for this one.
I know you do.
You
bought your tickets for this for Solo before you bought tickets for Deadpool.
That's true. Well, I mean, it's Solo. They're selling tickets like hotcakes, man. I got my hopes up. I don't, I've got them up, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's terrible.
Right.
So
sorry, I dominated that Deadpool discussion.
No, you needed to take that one over. You're the resident, especially since you're more passionate about it than I was. Obviously I'm going to let you take,
I just can't believe I walked out feeling so passionately about a Deadpool movie.
I felt passionately meh. Honestly, like I didn't care.
I'm just glad that you didn't full on love it.
No.
I mean, but here's the thing. If you guys see it and you like it, good for you.
So for next week on the show, we had a little idea. With Solo coming out, we're going to have it be Star Wars week.
Star Wars week.
Yep, Star Wars week.
Woo!
We're going to review Solo, obviously.
Right.
The first part, we were kind of going to do a general Star Wars discussion, but I think that what we should do is flip a coin. One of us will watch the prequels.
Yeah.
And one of us will get to watch the original trilogy.
Yes, there's a clear winner and loser here.
Correct. Yeah, so I'm going to let you call it in the air.
Okay.
You get to choose. I guess if you win, you just get the original trilogy.
Got some real exciting podcasting going on here.
So I'm going to flip the coin right now. Actually, you can call it right now. We're doing NFL style. Heads or tails?
Heads.
It's tails. So,
I get to watch the prequels. I am allowed to.
Yeah, so Alex will be watching the prequels next week.
Positive thinking.
Yeah, and I'll be watching the original trilogy this week. I've only seen them about
Okay, so don't rub it in.
850,000
Let's not
times.
Let's
it's going to be great though.
Let's not be cruel.
What do you any predictions for Solo?
I am predicting
like story predictions. Like, what do you think's going to happen? What stupid, obvious thing are they going to do?
I am predicting that in the story, at some point, C-3PO will walk by.
Okay.
No, that's a shit one because he's in every Star Wars film.
No, he might. He wasn't in Rogue One, was he?
Yes, he was.
Oh,
yeah, he was in the hangar.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, he says something stupid.
Yeah. Well, is Anthony Daniels in the cast list?
I have no clue.
Okay.
But you don't need him. You can just have him walk by.
He's just going to walk by.
Yeah.
All right.
What are you predicting? That maybe they'll show where Han got his jacket from?
No, I expect that kind of.
There's a prediction right there.
I was thinking more like Lando stuff.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the movie, I'm going to predict that those two are on the outs.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
I'm going to predict that you're wrong because Disney wants a Star Wars movie with a hopeful ending because they know that people like to leave the theater happy.
Yeah, Han wasn't too excited to go to Cloud City in Empire Strikes Back, though.
Yeah, but they also signed the fucking cast for like 4 films.
Oh, yeah, God damn it.
So be prepared for Han Solo 2.
Solo
no longer.
I'm going to predict that Emilia Clarke is not good in the movie.
There we go. Safe bet.
I
like it.
But no, I'm going to predict that you don't hate it. I'm going to predict that you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
I think I will be fine with it.
Okay.
I think I'll feel closer to you on Deadpool 2.
Would they be crazy enough to have Darth Vader in a scene? Like, could that be a big surprise, is that Darth Vader's in a scene?
I think I'd be annoyed as fuck about that.
If they did that. He's not going to say anything. James Earl Jones isn't in it, I don't think.
I think they'd be stupid to do that. Because you got to play that card
true.
once in Rogue One.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to do a Darth Vader movie at some point.
Didn't he have a prequel about him?
You're gonna
Like
find out
a
this week.
prequel trilogy?
They need to do a Darth
I
Vader.
am going to find out this
Dude,
week.
I want to see Darth Vader like just going around the galaxy killing motherfuckers. That sounds entertaining to me.
I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I don't know. I'm Star Wars'd out at this point, so
yeah,
I'm glad that I got to
getting
do
there.
prequels.
The magic is gone. Before we sign off, just a note, we do have a website now. That's www.boredandanoid.com.
.com.
Right. So expect or keep checking back there. I'm going to set up some sort of a subscription thing somehow. I got to figure it out. So whenever we post something on there, you'll get a notification. Or you can just email us. We'll start like an email list, and just send out something. Email address is coupleofdudes@boredandanoid.com, or you can just DM me on Twitter or something. That's @boredanoid. I mean, whatever you want to do. You know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
I just
Send
told you.
us an email. Let us know what you thought of Deadpool 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Or just chastise me. I'm fine with that. But that's been another episode of Bored and Annoyed.
I'm Jackson.
And I have been home at the movies.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Bye.